Looking fine. Let's just see if the stream is good. It looks like it is. Brilliant. Hello everybody and welcome to my latest live stream. It's been about a week since I did my last sales report, and I kind of enjoy doing my sales report on a live stream. I'm not sure why. It just seems like a nice thing to do. I'm hoping at some point that I could build up a little following of people watching, and commenting on items that I've sold as I've sold them. So as I show you guys those items. So it's nothing special. Sales reports are all over YouTube. People showing what sells, what they've sold on eBay. So this is just my version of it, and I'm just doing it as a live stream because I fancy it. Alright, so I've got quite a few items to show you that I've sold in the last week. Things, touch wood, are starting to pick up. I'm hoping that I'm going to have a nice weekend in the first week of November. We'll see how that actually pans out, but I'm always positive and hoping for that. So I'm just going to go through a few of the items I've sold. First item I've sold is a iPod Classic. Now the iPod Classic is not actually technically an iPod Classic, it's an iPod Photo. So this is the fourth generation iPod that came out ages ago with the click wheel, and this was actually the first iPod which had the ability to show photographs. So I'll just show you there a close-up picture of what it looks like. So it's a pretty nice. It has a couple of marks on it, but to be honest with you, you're not likely to find an absolutely mint condition iPod. It's just not likely to happen. So you can see I've just taken the photo of the front and the back. The back is so scuffed on these things. I've never really managed to see one which isn't majorly scuffed on the back. There's always scratches, and when you photograph them they come out 10 times worse, but it's always better to actually show those off. And then you can see I've shown like a little side profile, and I always tend to show a close-up of the size with the model and the serial number as well. Now the only iPod I would say you shouldn't do that for is if you're selling an iPod Nano first generation. Do not take a picture of the serial number and show it, because if someone's nasty, what they can do is they can quickly go on the Apple website and register your iPod Nano, so that whoever buys it won't be able to send it in for the iPod Nano replacement service. So if you're selling a first generation iPod Nano, do not take a photo of the serial. When it's one of the other models, it doesn't matter. So this was just a regular iPod Photo, and it didn't matter. So this is just like a 30 gig iPod Photo, job done. So I sold that for £50, which is pretty damn good, in my opinion. Nice decent sale there. Went pretty quickly as well, so worth looking out for these if you can come across them. They tend to sometimes have some simple issues such as the battery being dead and stuff, but those are easily fixable. There's plenty of tutorials online showing you how to swap out batteries on these things and get them ready to sell. So if you do find one at the boot fair or wherever, it's worth picking up. Okay, next item. It's actually a bit of clothing. I've had this sat in my wardrobe for a long time, and it's about time for it to sell. It's a size medium Next hooded jacket coat. It's in like a mustard yellow. Not really my cup of tea, and it wouldn't fit me anyway. Size medium. I'm too fat for that. So it went on sale, and you can see like a close up again of the front. I like taking as many photos of different views as I can, and again of the inside and of the label as well, just to give people a good feel. And also it's important that if you have like a nick or a mark or something along those lines on your item, it gives you that opportunity to show it. Now I actually got rid of this for a tenner, which is pretty cheap, but it was just taking up space in my wardrobe. It'd been sat there. Like I said, this was a part of an auction job that I'd had from ages ago, so when it went, I was more than pleased. Next up is another item of clothing. This is a women's River Island slim size 6 pair of jeans. Very skinny jeans for a very small lady. Size 6 is incredibly small. It's a tiny pair, so it will always have it will always have some appeal. And you can see it's kind of got like that faded look around the knees there. Decent condition, just a bit of wear as you can see in the usual places. And again, a quick close up of the tag showing the size of the actual item, so people know that there's no confusion or anything like that, so it just minimizes any issues. And that went for, I had it actually up for 10.59. I was offered a tenner, so yeah, I'm gonna sell it for a tenner all day long. And it was a nice easy £2.60 to post. Not masses of profit, but good enough. Now, next item. Now, this is something I've had for quite a while. Those of you with children out there will know that your children have tastes as they grow up, and my daughter is heavily into anything Japanese now. She's a massive fan of drawing manga and anime and reading it. But obviously, being dad, when you try to be helpful and you're like, oh, you know what, I'm going to get her a nice set of books, she might be interested in these. She didn't like them at all, so I bought them from a boot fair. I think in total they cost me, I can't remember, I think it was £9, I seem to remember. So because it was for my daughter and they were in really good condition. They're called Nabari no U volumes 1 to 8. I've got there, and I picked them up. My daughter did not like them, which is a shame. But I've still profited from them. So paid £9, sold them for 20. They were up for quite a while, but again, got to just be patient. I've just shown them laid out, and then I've showed the individual books as well, just to give the buyer an idea. I mean, it might seem like a bit of overkill, but trust me, if you've got 12 photos being offered to you for free, you're wrong to not take advantage of as many as possible. So I always try to take as many. There are occasions when I'm lazy and I don't take as many photos as I should, and I'm pretty sure I'll probably pay the price in terms of the item not selling as quickly or for as much money as it potentially could do had I been bothered to do the job properly. So that's something to bear in mind. Alright, moving on. Now this is a good sale. I was really happy with this. This is a Lotso Huggin' Bear 14-inch soft toy. Now I picked this up for like, I think it was 50p or a pound, and he wasn't completely working. I think one side of him wasn't functioning correctly. I think because he's one of those bears that like makes contextual sounds and noises. So if you hug him, he recognizes being squeezed, and you can touch his hands and his feet, and he makes different comments. And I think his left side was working, his right wasn't working so well. And obviously, it was just a case of the batteries had died. So I swapped out batteries and it worked absolutely fine. And then I decided to take it out and give it a good wash, to put it through the washing machine. Obviously remove the batteries when you do that, and make sure that everything inside is like protected. I just wrapped it in like a little bag, and the battery holder goes inside the back. There's like a little zip compartment along the back of the bear, and so you can just protect that. The label was a bit grubby, so I did mention that the label was a bit grubby in the listing. And in this case, I've only taken 3 photos, so not as many as I probably should have. However, in this case, I got what I wanted, and it sold for 20 quid, which is pretty good. So paid like a pound, like I said, so it sold for 19.99. Really cannot complain. A really solid item to look out for. Most Disney plushies, especially if they talk and things like that, they're going to be worth something, and Lotso is definitely in that category. Now, next up is actually quite a nice item. This is quite a rare one. I'm kicking myself now because now I know what I could have done. I approached this stall and they had this shirt, and it's a Lister Storm shirt, and they were a lovely couple, and they were telling me how these were pit worn. They were worn by the pit crew of Lister Storm. So if you're into GT racing, you'll be familiar with these guys. And they had this shirt, and they had 4 other shirts in total. A couple of them were even sealed, and there were different designs. And they were asking, I think they were asking £5 for the new ones and £3 for the ones that were opened. And I really wish I hadn't been so stingy. It's just when you're at a boot fair, £3 for a shirt, I don't know. It was just a mistake on my behalf, really. I only took the one shirt, even though she told me they were like worn by the pit crew and whatever. Um, anyway, I bought it for £3. I put it up for 50, or near offer, and this wasn't the best one because this one didn't have as much kind of like as many like decals on the jersey there, on the shirt. It's a 17.5 inch collar, XL size, and I got an offer in for £35, and I'm gutted that I didn't buy the other four now. So everyone makes mistakes. I certainly did make a big mistake when it comes to that, so I'm disappointed. But what can you do? So that's that. Moving on. There's another nice item actually. This is really cool. Um, I like picking up shoes which are a bit unique. So Converse shoes, I tend to only pick up if they're a bit on the crazy side, just because they might take a little bit longer to sell, but they're just a more interesting item to have in your store. Yeah, I mean, it's nice to have the white ones and the black ones because they sell quickly and regularly, but I think it's also nice to have these kind of a bit more stranger ones, and these were like an oriental finish, the red satin oriental Converse shoes, really nice looking actually. I mean, they're size 8, so I'm I'm guessing they're actually for most likely a guy or a lady with slightly larger feet. But you can see men's size 8, they say. So you know, and they were actually bought by a man as well, so cool. It took a couple of months for them to sell. Excuse me, sorry, I got a bit of a sore throat there. It took a little while to sell, but in the end, I had them up at 24.37, and I got them sold for 20. So I was really happy with that. Okay, moving on now. This is something that I wasn't aware was going to have this much value. A while back, I bought from auction a bag of wallets, and I thought I'd sold the best stuff out of there. I think I got like a nice Yves Saint Laurent wallet and a couple of other nice ones. And I saw this, and this was just sat there. This was an Oakley tactical fieldwear, what I thought was sunglass case, and it turns out that I initially put it up and sold it very quickly for £15, and then the guy wanted to return it because he realised that it was actually a lens case, not a sunglass case. I don't wear sunglasses. I know absolutely nothing about them, and I know it's quite a lucrative niche, so you should really look into it. I'm just a bit wary because of things like fakes being quite common. So anything which can be faked a lot, I tend to try to stay away from. But these was just lens case. This is just a lens case, and it came with like a little screw for your Oakley sunglasses. And these sold very quickly for £15. It's just a very basic case, and you can see there that you've got a little screw there, like a little Velcro lens case with Oakley on it. 15 quid. Very happy with that. So that was that one. Next item. Now this is a quite cool sale. I paid 50 pence for this. This is a Polaroid 640 land camera, which takes Polaroid 600 film. So that's pretty cool. Oh gosh, really need to get that sorted. Yeah, so this takes like a Polaroid 600 film. Paid 50 pence for this. The guy really didn't care for it. It was just in the bottom of a box. So obviously when I saw it, I saw my opportunity to snap it up, and that's exactly what I did. I just picked, as soon as I saw it in the box, I was there, and I was like, how much? He said 50p. I was like, done. Thing with Polaroid cameras is they're rock solid, very unlikely to be faulty, and they're pretty easy to test. I would actually suggest it may even be worth your while picking up some new film. I think it's the Impossible Project that does it. I've been lucky to find some empty film which does test the mechanism. It doesn't fully test the camera, obviously, but it gives you a 99.9% chance, yes, that it's going to work, because if the rollers and the flash and everything are working, you're going to be fine. So again, took some photos front, different sides. There you go. And that went for £30. I sold that for, so I was pretty happy with that. Now, next item. Now, this is something I've been debating as to whether I wanted to sell it or not. And this is actually the Elgato Game Capture HD card. Now, this is a very, very popular item. In fact, I think if you go into gaming on Amazon FBA, this is ranked number one, and you'd sell this for £100 on Amazon FBA pretty instantly. The only reason I didn't send it to Amazon FBA is because on the back of the box, let me explain to you what this is first of all. This is an Elgato Game Capture HD. What this does is it allows you to take footage from your Xbox One or PlayStation 4 or Xbox 360 or any games console, and it allows you to take that footage and pipe it into your PC or Mac, which then allows you to stream your gameplay to the internet. There's a channel called Twitch TV. There's a website, sorry, called Twitch TV, which is immensely popular, and there's a lot of people on there that stream video games. So it's like you watch them play games while they commentate and talk about it or whatever, and some people are very successful at it. Now, the only reason, like I said, I did not send this into Amazon FBA was because if you look at the back of the box, it clearly states what the enclosed contents were, and I did not have all the enclosed contents. I did not have the analog component cables, which allow you to connect analog consoles in HD, and there was no PS3 cable, which I don't think matters because I think it's just a HDMI cable, but that one there it didn't have, and I did not want to send it into FBA sell it for £100 and only for it to just get returned. That would have been a right pain in the ass. So I decided to sell it on eBay, and it sold very, very quickly on eBay as well because this is one hell of a popular product. If I'm honest with you, you're not likely to find this at Boot Fair, and the only reason I got it, and this is something that's quite important, when we're all at boot fairs and we're haggling, sometimes people are like, why are you haggling? Things are so cheap anyway. Things are so cheap at the boot fair anyway. Why are you haggling? That's very stingy of you or whatever, because there's people are selling it cheap and you're just trying to get it for nothing. Well, there's a really good reason. When you're out boot fairing, the amount of times we've all been there, we've bought something, we've taken it home, and it just hasn't worked. And if you add up those items, it can add up. It can add up pretty quickly. Just off the top of my head, I know this year I've bought an Xbox 360 for a tenner, which didn't work. I've bought a PlayStation 3 for a tenner, which turned out to be Yellow Light of Death. That didn't work. So that's £20 already, and not to mention, I don't know what other items I may have bought which weren't working. And the only reason I found this at Boot Fair, and I've not seen any others, and I've been to loads of Boot Fairs, people don't give these away, people will sell these on eBay or Amazon rather than sell them at a Boot Fair, is because the sellers thought they were being clever and they thought it was faulty. That's the only reason that they sold this. And even then, they wanted 30 quid for it, which, is really cheap. Um, but the only reason they were trying to sell this at the boot fair was because they were being dishonest, and that's how I see it. And the reason for that is when I took it home and I plugged it in, it didn't work, and I thought, oh bugger, I've just lost 30 quid. I should have known better. If something's too good to be true, it probably is. I knew these sell for 100 quid on FBA, and I knew that I'd get £70-80 comfortably on eBay. I've sold one before for £80 I picked up at auction, and like I said, they sold it because they thought it didn't work anymore. Otherwise, why would they sell it at a boot fair for such a loss, right? And it turns out that it didn't work, and I was like, oh shit. Turns out that it wasn't the unit that was faulty. It turns out it was a simple case of replacing the USB cable. It's a standard micro USB to USB, and I cannot tell you the relief I felt when I swapped out the cable that it came with, and I hooked it into the PC and it started working and it started capturing game software. I was so happy, but it just shows that when you're out there and you're haggling for a reason. You've got no way of testing whether the item works. The chances of you being able to get in touch with someone afterwards, and whether you'd want to get in touch with the seller if it turns out to be faulty, there's a lot of issues. So it has to be a lot cheaper, and if they don't like haggling, well then they shouldn't be selling at a boot fair. If someone doesn't like to haggle with me at the boot fair, I say, well, it's a boot fair, I've got to ask. I wouldn't be doing it right if I didn't ask. So and that's just my mini rant on the matter. So they sold it to me thinking it was faulty, and I'm glad that it wasn't. So there we go. So that's that item out of the way. Moving on. Okay, now this is a pretty cool sale as well. I just wanted to get rid of these really. I had them up for 30 quid. These are all very, like, not very popular games. I don't like the idea of selling Game Boy Advance games for like £4 or £5 and with postage and all that kind of stuff. So I sold all of these and I got an offer of £20, which I happily accepted. I bought these plus some other gems for £1, which was an absolute bargain. I actually sold Final Fantasy, which was a proper copy of Final Fantasy, not a knockoff. It was a proper Nintendo official Final Fantasy stamp game. And a few others that I've sold separately. So I've already made my profit from a measly pound, and then this sold for 20, so can't go wrong. And again, I just laid them all out there, and then I just took individual photos of each game with the manual and the cartridge showing, so the buyer could get an idea of what condition each of those items was in. So that was a pretty easy sale. Now next up, this is really cool as well. It's taken a little time for these to sell, which is kind of annoying, but kind of not as well. This was, I mean, they're just beautiful. These are amazing little figures. These are, I'll have to go back. These are McFarlane series Predator figures. I enjoyed researching which ones they were because they're called Scar and there's like a Hunter one and all this kind of thing, and these were based around obviously the Predator and the Alien vs Predator movies. The Alien vs Predator movies are crap. I only really like the first Predator movie. The second one with Danny Glover was okay, but I just love the Predator as a guy, as a bad guy. Awesome. Now, unfortunately, all of these were damaged in some way or another. They're really nice figures. They stand quite tall. And I paid £10 for all three of these, which I think was fantastic. And I've had them for a few months, like I said, and I was asking £40 for them. And they've all got something missing or something wrong with them. So either a little piece on them somewhere is broken. So this guy, I'm not sure what's wrong with him. I can't remember, but this guy is missing his hand, and his little camera thing that pops up behind his back wasn't working, and this guy's obviously missing his arm as well. So I could just show you individual photos just to give you an idea, and this is somewhere where you can really make your listings pop. What I did wrong here was I didn't crop the image. There's too much background in my opinion. It would have been nicer if I just cropped that image down the side, down the middle, and it would have just given even more pop and even more focus to the picture, and I think it would have probably sold quicker because it took about 4 months, I think. Maybe I'm being over. Maybe about 3 months it took to sell these, but like I said, I paid £10 for all three of them, and in the end I accepted an offer of 35. But really, this is the kind of item that your photos are going to sell. So you can see that I've got very, very little shadowing anywhere. If I Like I said, if I was to do something better, I would have cropped down the middle, and that would have added even more pop and focus to the photo. And you can see I've done a little close up there of the guy's face, of his back there, and I think that around there is where his like little camera thing pops up, and he's missing that, so that was his fault. And then the second figure, you can see this guy's got all his blades, he's got his little camera thing, but he's missing his hand. Again, they're really detailed figures, really awesome figures, and this guy's missing his. I know he's meant to have a replaceable hands and arms, but he was missing stuff. So again, very happy with this particular sale. Like I said, went for £35 from £10. So McFarlane figures. Always look out for McFarlane figures. They're really worth it. McFarlane tends to do figures based around certain movie franchises and video game franchises, and I can actually show you that next. Okay, let's have a look. Alright, next up, these are tiny figures. I'm not sure how tall they are, though. They can't be more than 5 inches, and these are from Halo ODST. So you've got a little grunt, and you've got the a Dutch figure as well. He's from Halo ODST, so if you're into your Halo games, you know, and again, I've taken a photo there of the guy's foot as well, so it says Microsoft 2011 and TMP, but you know, you could do a bit of research and find out where your figures are from, what range, what series they're from, and you'll sell them quicker. Now, I paid 50 pence each, I think, for these guys, so £1 in total, and that £1, I've accepted an offer of £15 for these, so really pleased with that. Can't complain too much. Moving on, another item that I love picking up is are these are like video game cases. So this is a very simple listing. I only took two photos, one of the front, one of the back, and it's a Game Boy Advance SP console and cartridge carry case. I would have not paid more than £1 for this item and accepted an offer of £11. Nice simple sale, nothing really to go wrong on there, so pretty pleased with that one. Moving along, we're down to our last few items now, so coming to the end of the stream, which is cool. Been going for 25 minutes. Well, now this is the Sony SLV SE 810 video recorder. Again, I would not have paid more than a fiver for this. It comes with its remote control and manual. SLV SE 810, yeah, comes with remote control there and manual there as well. And sold it for £40, so really decent flip there. Next item, this is quite a cool one. It's been sat for a while, but it was part of a bundle that I've already made profit on, so again, I wasn't too fussed about it sitting there for a little while. And it's a Disney Mighty Ducks Grin 6-inch vintage figure, retro figure. And you can see he's like a Mighty Duck ice hockey player. Pretty cool looking figure there. Again, it's pretty much cost me nothing because I actually bought this figure as part of this massive job lot of figures, which included Disney dinosaurs figures, which I sold for 30 quid, and some Ninja Turtles vintage 88, 89 Ninja Turtles, which I sold for 40. So I've already made plenty of profit on the fiver I spent. So this is pretty much free. So 13.77, take away the postage, really good profit for me there. So you know, worth hanging out for in the end. I was happy. I would have probably taken an offer on it if someone had offered me like 10 or 11. I probably would have accepted that, but I was happy for it to go. Finally, pair of Nike football boots, Nike Mercurials, not in the best condition, but they still have plenty of life in the tread left, as you can see, and there's the actual model there. And I think again, these came as part of a job lot, and I accepted, well, I didn't have to take an offer. They sold for £15.99 for me, so pretty pleased with that. So I mean, thanks for watching my stream, guys. It's about 4 or 5 of you at the popularity of it. So those are the items that I've sold. Things have started to pick up a little bit, so I'm hoping we're going to see more and more sales. Saying that, today has been a bit quiet so far, which is a little bit disappointing because yesterday was fantastic. I'm hoping that it's going to pick up this evening when people finish work and go into the weekend and have a really big weekend of sales. I hope everyone else has some really awesome sales as well. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream and saw some of the cool items that I've sold this week. Some pretty, I think, pretty nice stuff, pretty varied stuff, from football boots to action figures to whatever else there was, jeans, ladies' jeans and jackets and coats and whatever else there was in that list of goods that I showed you. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did miss the stream, this will be up on my YouTube channel, so you'll be able to watch through it later. If you've got any comments, please leave them in the comment section below. I'm more than happy to reply to any comments that you guys leave me. It's typical, just as I'm about to finish, I'm at my peak of 6 watches. It's quite frustrating that, but I am actually about to sign off now. So guys, thank you very much for popping in and watching. And like I said, for those of you that have missed this is going to be up on my YouTube channel. You'll be able to watch it in all its glory. So I hope you guys get some cool tips of some products to sell, and the photos and things like that. And I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll catch you next time. I'm going to stop rambling now because I've got verbal diarrhea and I literally cannot stop talking sometimes. Thanks. See you guys.